So much. Democratic Congressman Adam Schiff, chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, says Attorney General Barr is, quote, proven to be unreliable and misleading. The chairman is with us this morning from Capitol Hill. Good morning, Mr. Chairman.
Good morning, John. Let
me pick up where Nancy's report there. So there is this discrepancy, which we're learning about between Mueller and Barr. But as the Department of Justice says, it was the entire report was released. There are some redactions, but the report was released. And Mueller did not appear to have any, just didn't think there was anything inaccurate or misleading in the summary that Barr put out. So isn't this just kind of a quibble here when you've got 488 pages to look at of the actual report?
No, not at all. And frankly, after getting now 2 or 3 misleading summaries from the Justice Department through the Attorney General, I don't think we can rely on the Justice Department to be summarizing what Bob Mueller said in that conversation to Bill Barr. We know from Mueller's own words from that letter that he viewed the Barr summary as misleading, as essentially allowing the White House to create this false narrative. No, this is serious business. What Barr is going to have to explain today is why he deliberately misled the Congress. His statements in particular to Representative Christ, when Representative Christ asked him, are you aware of these reservations that were reported in the press by Bob Mueller? And Barr's answer was no. That was deliberately false and misleading. And, you know, I think the additional question, John, is we suspected before we got the report that Mueller produced his own summary. So why did Barr feel it necessary to create his own summary to help the White House in this way? And now we know that not only did those summaries exist, but that Mueller had pleaded with him to release those to the public.
So I'll ask it this way. Did the Attorney General lie to Congress?
I think his statement is deliberately false and misleading. And yes, most people would consider that to be a lie. He's a very smart man. He knew exactly what he was being asked by Congress, and he knew his answer was false. So, look, there's no sugarcoating this. I think he should step down. It's hard, I think, for the country to have confidence in the top law enforcement official in the country if he's asked a direct question, as he was, and he gives a directly false answer. So this is serious business. It is, you know, after 2 years of work in an investigation implicating the President of the United States, for the Attorney General to mislead the public for an entire month before releasing that report is inexcusable.
Are you concerned, Congressman, that Barr and the White House have now shaped the narrative on this story, and that what really will change, what will really come out of this hearing today, no matter what he is asked?
Well, I am concerned that for a month the country was misled into believing that these talking points of the president, his mantra, was somehow borne out by this report when it wasn't. And the fact that the Attorney General of the United States would allow himself to be used that way doesn't inspire not only confidence in this investigation, but in the administration of justice. And this was, I think, probably the most salient point of that Mueller letter, and that is, it undermines the public confidence now in this investigation. And after 2 years of hard work, I can understand why Mueller would be so upset about it. In terms of the hearing today, I think the Congress needs to get to the bottom, not just of Barr's misrepresentations, but the fundamental issue of why Barr arrogated to himself to make a decision on obstruction. Barr, you know, postulates that he was required to do this. He even suggests that he was invited to do this. None of that is true. He could have simply said that Mueller wanted to present this to Congress, and that's what I'm doing. We're not allowed to indict him, and therefore we're not going to pronounce judgment. We're going to leave that to Congress. That's not what Bill Barr chose to do. He chose to be the personal lawyer for the president instead.
Chairman, you have asked for Bob Mueller's special counsel to testify. The Attorney General has said he has no problem with it. Do you have a date set for that? What's holding it up? And when will you be given the underlying evidence?
We don't have a date, and we've asked for one, and we pressed for one, and I think what we're seeing is a continuation of the same, and that is Barr wanted his testimony to go first. He wanted to continue to push out, I think, this misleading narrative before the country actually gets to hear from Mueller. So, you know, we have a month-long unnecessary delay before the report comes out. Of course, there was no necessity for Barr to put out his own statement or letter before that came out. And now we have Barr again wanting to delay Mueller so that he can further cement this misleading narrative. Well, that may serve the president well, but that's Rudy Giuliani's job. It's not the Attorney General of the United States' job.
All right, Chairman Schiff, we're going to have to leave it there. Thanks so much for being with us.